And there it is again. Same old, same old. Welcome to the round 10 fan cams. After the Pies beat the Blues, 13 goals, 785 to 7 goals, 15-57 in another painful display. Another disappointing performance. Running out of words to describe how poor we play. I don't even know. Who knows? Who knows? Thanks everybody for being here. I don't know where this will go, but this is the fan cams. For those of you that are new, this is where the fans come to say their piece about the games, win, lose, or draw. Unfortunately, we've been doing them after a loss. All too familiar now. Anyway, let's begin. Tommy.
Oh, mate. How are you? That good.
Where do you start?
I try and stay relatively real, optimistic, but like I know Voss's press conference is going to be something along the lines of efficiency and we had more scoring shots. He'll forget that 5 of them were rush behinds. Do you know what I mean? And that's probably the flattering part of it. But you watch this side play, Terry.
Yeah.
And just hogging it down the left side, the disconnect between the midfield and the forward line is appalling. The players look lost. People are going to talk about the argument at halftime. I saw a coach and a captain not arguing, more like not understanding. You can see that the way the players can't find space, they don't even fight for space. They look reluctant to run for space because when they do, they get copped on the turnover. And you watch Collingwood, one thing that Collingwood had in that first half was there's just a knowledge of where to be, of where to go. As soon as they get the ball, there's always an easy option to their left or right. You watch Carlton, we get the ball. They push up the ground so much so the disconnect is too big. That kick comes, it's turned over, it's slow, it's lethargic. People are going to rave about Darcy Moore's game, but you know, at the end of the game, I don't know if you've seen it yet.
I have.
The Collingwood steel side bottom was in tears of laughter. And it's not a laughing matter anymore, Terry, because if clubs are starting to lose that much respect for their rivals, you're in a fucking low place. You're in a low place. And Darcy Moore, I don't think, was challenged. And it's ironic, the 2 goals we kicked out and changed the angle. They changed the angle and they got goals out of it. But I think this is beyond even a coaching issue at this stage now. I think it's plainly obvious. These players are being killed with this game plan. They don't believe in it. And I can't keep watching, Terry, 10 minutes when the game is dead of them starting to play this short, sharp, crisp football. If they were up for this game, big questions have got to be asked of a lot, because Voss has got to take 90% of the blame, but we've got to, as fans, open our eyes and see that these players, how many times are these players going to get behind a coach and then totally let them down? They're letting themselves down now. I mean, this game plan isn't rocket science, but they can't even execute the basics, Terry. 12 players at half-time, no tackles. Come on. We used to laugh at Teague saying effort indicators. Fuck, Teague couldn't even say that at the moment.
12 players at halftime, no tackles.
Yeah.
Do you remember the last time that happened? That was 2021 GWS.
At least you've brought me back to happy, Terry. That's good.
Man, it feels like 2021. The wins are painful and the losses get seemingly worse every time.
It's... You know, I was watching at the end, Doc came out and said we need to get better as a football team. Do you know what I mean? I question. I think you learn the most part of a game of a team when you're playing something that is important to the
Yeah.
club. And Collingwood's important. The club has actually acknowledged this week. They've started to push out the historical. They've paid for a documentary. But do you know what I mean? Look at the way that they executed. You're getting lambasted in the press, lambasted by the fans. They came out, Terry, they weren't even attacking space. They weren't even attacking space. That first kick in Carlton had, there was 15 players within kick ratio. We'd gone really deep to create the options. Not one person moved. And I watched the VFL today. It's not just, it's the whole system. That either the players don't understand it. I've got a horrible feeling that these players haven't given up, but they've given up on the game plan.
Yeah, there's a soullessness and a nothingness about them.
That first 10 minutes of that first quarter, there was an inevitability about what you were going to see.
Yeah.
Never looked getting back in it. And man, it hurts. We deserve so much better than this. Players deserve so much better than this. And I think if you go back, I remember you and me having the conversation against Sydney in the pre-season. It felt bad. And that Sydney game's never gone.
Yep.
That Sydney game's never gone. Because that's what this was. And I don't know how they turn it around. I don't know how they turn it around because it's obvious that is the game plan. And the players look, they look empty. We're starting to see, I've never seen Sam Walsh blaze it out 30 metres in a switch kick before. That's not Sam Walsh.
No.
10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter for a team. Interesting start for you. Collingwood kicked longer than Carlton, almost twice as long as Carlton. And people say Carlton hit the ball too far, kick the ball too far up the wing. They do it more than us. Watch what they do, though. They are right out in front. They're working hard for territory. They're playing a territory game. Carlton are playing keep ball. And that third quarter, it reminded me of killing a game off the way we played. Because there was no intent to get the ball forward. No intent. And we managed to sneak in. But Collingwood won that in a canter. And these players look lost. It reminds me of some of our dark days, Terry. Some of our dark days.
Yeah. What did it look like on the screen? Because I was obviously at the game, and that would be one of the more flat Carlton Collingwood games as an atmosphere that I can really remember. There was like a nervous energy from the crowd before the game. I was feeling that. And then during the game, it didn't have an aura about the contest. It never picked up. It was just another game. To see the same thing, really.
I think for the first time ever, at half time, I didn't want to come back.
Yeah.
I've never been like that, Terry. I've never been like that. At half time, I sat outside, made myself a cup of tea, gave the fans 10 minutes to get themselves G'd up. And this is the first time ever in my life of supporting this team that I had zero belief they would come back. Zero belief. And I really didn't want to come back. I really didn't want to come back to the watch along. And that's my home. That's the thing that gets me up in the morning, because I'd felt broken. Because I could see they were a fucking another level to us, and I could see we weren't willing to go to that level. And fuck, man, like these boys are killing us, man. They're killing us, and they're killing themselves. And fuck me, we are so far away. And I hate to say it, you know, I'm the first to sack a coach. I'm telling you now. Voss needs to look at this because the players, their loose free kicks they're giving away. I'm starting to see a lot of players in that back line actually petulant. They don't understand it. They don't move it right. They don't care enough about this game plan. It is stagnating. The enjoyment is going out of it for them. And that worries me long term with this club. Long term, because every player in that team looks a shell of who they are.
Yeah.
It's just another game, though, as Cripps said. It's just another game.
Just another game. What hope do we have?
I think when you come in against a team that you could argue you could argue last year's first time we played them was the beginning of the rot. Round 23 definitely would have kicked you in the dick with this team. Definitely kicked you in the dick. If you can't get up and be intense, and did anyone else feel like, I'd love to know chat and I'd love to know your opinion, Terry. For the first time, I started to see a little bit of fraudulence from the boys. And do you remember when Lee Montagna said, "Oh, Carlton, they don't ever fight. They don't ever protect their players when they get bumped." And we went out and there was that famous Mickey Gibbons wrestled a player to the ground and it looked so scripted. It looked so scripted. It was laughable. I remember doing the watch along. There was this faux aggression from Carlton. It didn't look real. It looked fabricated.
Yeah.
And that's a worrying sign. It felt like that was for my benefit, not reality, because the cold hard facts were they didn't lay a tackle. Do you know what I mean? 12 people didn't lay a tackle, Terry, in a fucking derby. In a rivalry game, Terry. In a rivalry game. I've got to go on Twitter and see fucking Melts go, "Oh, it's all right, though. We beat them in grand finals." Unless there's a VFA grand final and Carlton can get special dispensation to say it. Fuck me. We ain't playing in grand finals.
No. We are a long way away from grand finals, but it's all a process. I don't know, man. I don't know what to say anymore.
Terry, people are mocking us, man. Like, to see Steel Sidebottom, the odious wanker, laugh going, "I was wondering when Carlton were going to stop kicking to him." Like, legit. If you're a player and you see being laughed at, fuck me, that is the worst. I don't think I've seen that in professional sport. You know, usually there's a bit of professional conduct, but fuck me, man.
Yeah.
I've never seen a team this week manage to be worse than the week before. One thing I'll give Carlton, they can be dog shit, but they slightly improve something. Jesus. Like, wow is all I can say.
Yeah. Well, mate, we thank you for being here once again.
I'll always front up. Do you know what I mean? I'll be back in the watch along next week versus Sydney, and we'll do it again because that's what we do. That's what we do.
That's what we do. We don't question why we do it. We just do it. But yeah,
do it because we do it. And if the club listen to this, we do it for one fucking reason. We don't get paid for it. We do it because we have a responsibility to our fan base, this great fucking club. We have a love for the club. And you know what? We don't talk about 16 flags. We have a respect of what fucking built 16 flags. That's each and every son of a bitch that supports this fucking football club. And we have an understanding and respect for history. That is why we front up every day. Maybe 22 six-figured mid-20-year-olds should maybe take a fucking look. Take a look. Because if you don't like the fucking game plan, you're getting paid for it, you daft bastards. If you don't think the game plan's working, fix the fucking game plan. It's not that fucking hard. But maybe, just maybe when you go out next week, show a little bit of fucking care for what that blue fucking Guernsey fucking means to this football club and fucking probably 200,000 people in Australia and around the globe. Maybe just take a step back and think about that before you make your stupid little press releases this week. That is what I request. Please, for the love of Christ.
Well said, mate. Love your work.
Love you. Love you all.
See you, mate. All right. I'm going to put the link in the chat if anybody wants to join. I've got a few in the waiting room. There's the link. Got a few super chats. Michael with the $10 says, Carlton are merchants of false hopes and endless frustration. We now know what we are in 2023, indisputably ordinary. Thank God BA gives us motivation to sticking together. Thanks very much, mate. Ulgo with the 80 says, sadly, no spirit. Yeah, no spirit, no soul. Dynamic Hypnotic with the 5 says, I've heard from a reasonable source that Cripps has been taking multiple injections in his back to get through each game for the last month or so. Okay, well, thank you. I don't know. He definitely doesn't look to be moving freely, but let's just see. All right, all the way from the UK, Paul Sebastiani.
This is the death of this group, Terry. It's done. This core group is all finished now. It's done for them. You can forget about it now. It's that like group of 6 to 8 players. It's all over. Those leaders that we have and the players we think are top tier, finished. It's all over. They'll never win a flag with those leaders, and they'll never do anything with these leaders. I wanted to give them time this season, but that's it. It's done. This was the fear I had with this game, is that if they were held at arm's length and easily beaten, that apathy starts to set in, and that's what you've seen. You saw it throughout the game, and you saw it in post-game as well. What's Doherty? We need to get better. Thanks, bro. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. We need to get better. Like, side bottom laughing at us post-game. It's just, what do you say? Like, I mean, and I want to pick out moments, right? And this is not picking out each player individually yet. The Jacob Wiedering turnover at halfback. Mate, I want to say something there, right? That passage of play, right? Now, he's been the culprit of that for 10 rounds this season, right? He's done that all year. He's taken 2 steps back off the mark. He's taken 10 years to get rid of it. And by the time that he takes the safe option, it's actually not a safe option when you think about it, right? That passage of play from him there just tells you that there's just a lack of care for his teammates and a lack of care for his job. That's what that is. Does not care one iota. Mychek had him on toast from the get-go. Mychek's 4 first disposals were 4 uncontested marks. And Jacob Wiedering was 10 metres away from him in each passage of play. He's become a shell of his former self. I don't know what's happened to him. All his confidence is gone. Then the other one, the one that typifies everything about our football club, that we just cannot do the simple things right. Know your limitations. Jesse Motlop from 49 metres out trying to kick a banana set shot. Jesse Motlop, let me repeat that. 49 metres out, a banana check side set shot, bro. Come on, are we being serious? Are we being serious? Come on, man. Like I called my Jets the last couple of weeks. Not after that, man. Have we started a game this year at all?
No.
With any momentum at all? No, I can't count one. There's not been one. It's either we go goal for goal in the first quarter, or we get done like a bloody hot breakfast, and then we're chasing our tail for the rest of the game. And if anyone wants to say today, oh yeah, we had the same scoring shots, and if we had a kick straight, all the shots that we had were from tough angles and difficult kicks, right? And then there were a few rush behinds as well, mate. They had us at arm's length for 4 quarters, and the worst thing about it is that you just knew, and this is the worst thing as a supporter and as a member, I had absolutely no faith in them that they could come back and get the job done. No faith whatsoever. I hate watching them play at the moment. The way they play is horrible. I hate the brand that they play. I hate seeing our leaders play week in and week out with that apathy and that sense of that they're just out there for the sake of it. They don't care, mate. They genuinely don't care. I'm telling you now. They don't care. They don't care enough to become intricate, to get those standards up, to do the basics right. I don't get it. I genuinely don't get it. 12 blokes with no tackles to half time in a game against your right. But you know what? Even though we think it's a rivalry and we say it's a rivalry, I don't get that feeling from the players, mate. And I don't get that feeling from the club either. There's no the care factor's just gone. Like, it's just I don't see it there anymore. And I wanted to give them a month at least to try to prove something. And all they've proved to me is that it's the same old rubbish week in and week out, and as I said, my fear is for this group is that apathy is going to creep in because they'll have this mindset that, well, we've done all we can and we're sort of in the peak of our career now and there's no injuries as an excuse. So what's the excuse? And these players, they'll get more people sacked, this group. They've got to, I'm telling you that they've got to gut the list out and do what Collingwood did 2 seasons ago. Get rid of some big names, trade off some big names, bring in some new draft picks, acquire some veteran talent that's actually won flags and actually done something and can actually set a standard out on the field. I mean, it's everything. The game plan, we just don't play. The way that we play doesn't bring the strengths out of this team at the moment. I don't know what it is. It just, I cannot stand watching us play football at the moment. It's the way that we are following the club is labour intensive, right? We're like to get up and have to get up every week. And I can feel it. I can feel it with everybody. It's like, oh, here we go again. And that's what I see out on the field. The same thing. Everything's labour intensive. Everything's hard. Nothing comes easily. They can't get the basics right. It's just the same. I feel like the last 6 to 7 weeks, we've seen the same game happen week in, week out. Missing 5-metre handballs, missing 20-metre kicks, slow, lethargic, poor ball movement. Then when the game's done and dusted, you're 6, 7, 8 goals down. Oh, there's no pressure on. So we can take that risky kick inside. We can take that bite off that kick on the 45. And it just, I don't know. Harry Mackay's sooking it up. Even when Harry kicked that first goal, who got it? Like, no one really got around him. There were a couple that sort of, mate, fucking all go to him, mate. He's had a whole week where everyone's been rinsing him and like 3 or 4 or 5 blokes. Mate, everyone go up to him. Give him a pump. Give him a rev up, mate. He's copped it all bloody week and probably rightfully so, but he's gone back, hit a nice drop punt and, all right, back to you. Like, mate, get around him. Properly get around him. Set the tone early. And Pommy was right on with that false bravado. Mate, they came in. That's not our team.
No.
Like getting involved in people's face. That's not our bloody team, mate. Come on. Fake. That's fake. That is all fake. It's synthetic toughness. That's what that is. It's synthetic toughness because Collingwood beat us where it mattered at the contest and with their will and intent to actually want to win and move the ball. That's a club and that's a group of players and a bunch of supporters and coaches that actually care and have belief and actually realise that their football club is going to go to the next level this season, and they have, and they're premiership favourites, and rightfully so. They've scooted past us as a footy club. Darcy Moore, mate, the bloke. We may as well have just gone out there with that Indigenous Sharon and just handed it to him. They should have just handed it to him. Said, here you go. McGovern up forward, another one. Here we go again. At least they tried something. McGovern up forward. What did he do? Nothing. As soon as Voss made that move, I said, yeah, all over. See you later. Finished. Akers, not good enough. Who else? The Smalls. Oh, my God. Durden and Motlop, seriously. Right, they are. Oh, mate. And I think it's not really all on them, too, because the system doesn't really allow them to show us or to show their strengths. But by golly, mate, Charlie's the only one who can hold his head up high. He competed and willed himself to every contest all day, kept going, even when shit was hitting the fan, even when he knew we probably weren't going to win, he just kept presenting. The rest, what's this I hear now that Cripps is carrying a niggle? But how many times, mate? We hear it all the time with it. Have a rest then. Be a bit selfless, have a rest. Go and have a rest. Take a week off, take 2 weeks off. Jacob Wiedering, what's wrong with him? What's happened to him?
And this is the issue as well. They're our captains.
Mate, what is going on? Mate, and this is my problem. The leaders of this club at now, that core group, it's come to this point now where they've done nothing but lose their entire career. Nothing's going to change because they've hit that point in their career where all your standards are set in, all your little intricacies and all your pressure tendencies are all embedded, right? And you can't turn that. That's the problem. You can't turn it. Like, you have to go new players now. I'm telling you, I know we're saying this halfway through the season and it feels like we're on repeat again, but what's going to change? Do you have any confidence that we'll beat Sydney next week? I don't. Not at all.
No, this was the last chance I went into this game, honestly. This was the last chance that I gave for them to generate a little something for the year.
No,
because it had a bit of an emotion to it. But
done.
No.
If they don't care as a group, and I always will, I'll always love the football club. But right, mate, this list, I think we've overrated the list, and clearly the way that we play football at the moment, or the game plan that we're trying to implement, is clearly not up to it, obviously. But again, that's on the players. I think Pommy said it well too. If the players have given up on the game plan, well, then that means that they're just toxic as a group. And this is why I said that, and I feared this game. And I did the SEN podcast with Nick Neguaponda. Shout out to Nick before I jetted off, and I said this game here is the ultimatum game for this core group of players. Right? When I say core, I mean Cripps, Doherty, Charlie, Harry. You know, those guys that we've sort of formed our list around. And my fear was that if we lost this game badly and Collingwood won this game comfortably, is that the apathy would start to set in. And I think this is the death of that core group, personally. That's what I believe, because you can only take so many knocks, man. Look, are they trying their hardest? Probably, but it's just simply not good enough. And for me now, I think there needs to be a regeneration of everything. And I know it probably sounds a bit rash and a bit reactionary, but we've got to bite it before it just gets worse and worse, because it's starting to fall off a cliff now. Yep. It's really starting to fall off a cliff, and I fear for the younger players too, because if they're continually led out by this group of losers, and I don't mean losers as in people, I mean losers on the field, that it's just going to, the same cycle is just going to eventuate year by year by year, and that's what we're seeing now. So there are, and it's not one thing. This is the problem. There are serious issues with the club at the moment in every department, football management, board, executives, and it's already started. It started 2 weeks ago. Matheson came out. No unity there. Tom Brown on Channel 7 already starting to talk about the board, and there's, Sayers is obviously going to step down at the end of next year because of the Constitution. Then you've got problems with Brad Lloyd. A lot of people don't like Brad Lloyd. They want him gone. Then you've got problems with the list. A lot of people don't like the list. Some people do like the list. And then you've got problems with the coaches too. God, they've got a lot wrong this year. Wow, they've got a lot wrong this year. George Hewitt, the sub, he actually came on and had a bit of an impact. But and again, I don't want to single him out, but Ed Kerno, what's he give us? Terry, what does he give us, mate? He's been there for 13, 14 years, mate. I know he's a professional. I understand that. But what does he give us? What is his point of difference, mate? I'm serious. We should be moved on from players like that. We have our best available squad to pick from at the moment, bar Williams, right? But the problem there is that all these guys that are out have been out for years anyway. Jack Martin saw again. I saw that. Apparently he saw again. Marchbank came back in the reserves. Whoop-de-doo. Who cares? He'll have one game in the reserves, and next week he'll have a calf injury for the next 10 years. So he'll be off the list. Cunningham's done. I don't know why people keep mentioning him either. He won't play another AFL game. You know that. And even if he does, he's going to get delisted at the end of the year. It's got to be 10 to 12 list changes into the season. It has to be. Yeah. It has to be. It's just getting to a point where it's ridiculous. So, as I said, mate, I'm struggling to really watch this club with any love at the moment. They are making it so hard to follow. The way that they play is just not inducive of what we deserve, I think, as a fan base and what we want out of our football club. So, yeah, I don't know what to say anymore, mate. All I know is that Marzi, Michael and I, we're going to head to London Stadium today and go watch two real clubs at it, mate. West Ham and Leeds United. I'm forever blowing bubbles, pretty bubbles in the air. They fly so high, they reach the sky, and like my dreams, they fade and die. Perfect.
Paolo,
perfect final sentence.
There's nowhere else that you should be right now than not in Melbourne. So you go and enjoy yourself.
Perfect final sentence, mate. Like my dreams, they fade and die. I'll leave it at that. Enjoy the fan cabs. Enjoy the comments, everyone. Go Blues. I still love them, but anyway, enjoy it, my friend. You're gonna need a lot of mental help after this one, I reckon.
Absolutely.
Love
Thanks,
you, mate.
brother. Love you too.
Ciao.
That was brilliant. Peter V with a 10. Can't like the Liberal Party. The members tend to leave earlier than expected. At least I stayed to the end and I started to hum hot pies when they were playing at 70%. I met people today that left before halftime. It was madness. Joe Adamo.
Yo,
The fuck was that, mate?
I left.
Did you really?
First time. I left.
Wow. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Wow.
Took a lot. Actually took
Wow.
everything in me, but I left. Yeah.
When?
Reese left. Reese left early. Jules and Dan stayed. Good on him. But I left with about probably 10 minutes to go. Yeah. What do you say? You know, there's this narrative around staying that I've had for a while. You know, if we don't stay, what excuse does that give the playing group to show up? But they never showed up, man.
No, they didn't. They did not show up today.
So what?
They did
So
not
what are
fucking show
we?
up in Collingwood.
What are 80,000 of us sticking around for? Like, I don't know. Just hit me square between the eyes, man. Square between the eyes today. And I think Parwell nailed it. We can point fingers wherever we want, but at the end of the day, I've said it for weeks now. We have a core group of players that has now had 4 complete coaching group changes, and they still produce the same shit when the chips are down. And, you know, there's this narrative again around, but these players last year almost got us to finals. These players last year started 8-2. These players didn't get us to finals. They've never played a final, let alone won a final, under 4 different coaches in 5, 6, 7 years, whatever it is. Like, 12 players without a tackle to halftime. If that doesn't speak volumes around the complete lack of understanding of what this means to a lot of people, whether they agree with the game plan, I don't give a shit at this point. I don't care, because how many times have we said, the coach has lost these players? I don't care. Show some effort, man. Go have a look at Mason Cox's goal in the last quarter. Go look at the lead up to it and tell me what you see on Lewis Young. Tell me what you see. This was a guy that we applauded last year for his work rate and his effort and his intensity to make sure that he evens a contest and can spoil and intercept and all of that. Go have a look at the lead up to Cox's goal and how that all built up. And then go have a look at every other play that a player like Lewis Young was involved in tonight. He was weak as piss. Weak as piss. And this is a player not even 12 months ago that looked like he was going to be a general in our back line for the next 10 years. Now we don't even know what we're going to get from him each week.
Fair.
What do you say?
Well, I didn't know that I didn't know the stat that 12 of them didn't lay a tackle at halftime. And I mentioned it with Pommy just now. The last time that happened, that's when the external review started the morning after.
Yep.
That game was
This is the thing. Like, I remember after that game, because that was the GWS game where you flew up. Am I correct?
Yeah. Told them that they were garbage.
Yes.
Which they were.
They were. And they were today. And they were today.
Disgraceful today.
This is the thing. So what? All right. Hypothetically, coaches lost the players. Players don't believe in the game plan. Fine. So we bring in another coach, and then 12 months down the track, when all the gloss and the shine's gone, they don't agree with that game plan. Then what do we do? Just sack him as well? What are we going to do? Just try and look for a coach that wants to baby these guys and go, oh, no, like, we're okay, boys. Just go play as you like. And there's going to be zero accountability, zero responsibility for you whatsoever. Like, what coach we're looking for here? Because everyone's saying, bring Ross Lyon in. He would have been better. No, he wouldn't have. No, he wouldn't have. Because these players don't want the accountability that Ross would have given them. These players don't want the responsibility that Ross would have given them. These players don't want to be looked in the eye, told that they're shit and told that their standards aren't good enough by a guy like Ross Lyon. They don't want that. They've proven it time and again. They don't want to be challenged. Simple. They want it easy. Very, very easy.
It's such an indictment on them.
Sorry, go for it.
I said it's such an indictment on them. Like, how can you let yourself get to the point where that's your reputation that you've built for yourself?
I'm not saying what I'm saying is complete truth. We don't know, right? This is just what you see. But the facts that I have in front of me, you've got a core group of players that were drafted under one coach. 4 coaches later, they're still there and they've achieved fuck all as a group. Nothing.
Yeah. They're not all in, mate. They're not all in.
They're really not.
And those 3 pillars of the club, the players, the fans, and the admin, the separation, it's just shown its face again.
Yep.
This year.
Yep.
I get 2020. This feels like 2021. It's got the same feeling about it to me.
Agreed.
I mean, it's 10 games in, but we're half a season in, and it feels like 2021.
It's 10 games in, and it feels like the season's about to end tomorrow. That's how I feel. That's how long this season has felt already.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's how we feel as fans, I can only imagine what it's like down in those rooms after a game like today. Like this is the other thing, right? So if we're a club that holds ourselves to account, playing group coaches, whoever, what are the conversations that happen in the rooms after today? Who looks who in the eye and goes, "You weren't good enough. None of us were good enough today. So what are we going to do about it?" Well, I can't say that any of those conversations are happening at this club, because if they were, we would see it on field. We would see that they are holding each other accountable on field. There was a that Lewis. I'm going to pick on this Lewis Young goal, the Mason Cox goal in the last quarter. The playing group went straight over to Young and patted him on the head. Oh, no worries, mate. All good. His effort in that contest was non-existent. But the reaction from the group was just to put some cotton wool around him. Rather than someone getting in his face going, "What the fuck are you doing? Get some body on him." Motlop, mate, we had a 3-on-2 in the second quarter. Charlie, Motlop, Cottrell, 3-on-2. Charlie had front position to challenge for the footy in the air as the ball was coming inside 50. Motlop tries to take mark of the year. What are we supposed to do? We're supposed to expect the coaches to sit Motlop down like he's a 6-year-old in a prep class and go, "Listen, mate, you can't do that in these situations. Switch on. Have some fucking smarts about you, man, as a footballer. What are you getting paid to do? You're a small forward. Don't banana it from 50 metres out. I don't care if it's your second year. Collingwood have got second-year players that don't do this shit.
Yep.
Other teams have second-year, first-year players that don't do this shit. They don't make dumb decisions in the moment. And this isn't to single out players. It's not to say this guy's not good enough, that guy's not good enough. They're all not good enough at the moment. They're just
a
not.
whole lot.
The whole lot of them are just not good enough. They're nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. And I cannot see. I was like you. I was coming into today going, you know what? If there's a game to hitch your wagon to as a supporter and go, fuck it, one last go at really just sticking fucking fat, today was the day. And from the bounce, we knew. That is horrible, man. From the bounce, we knew how today was going to unfold. And if anyone's sitting there saying, "Oh, no, we had a chance, this and that, we looked like no." From the first fucking bounce, we knew as a fan base today was done and dusted before it was even played.
Says
that
everything.
is sad, man. It is fucking sad. Really sad at the moment to be part of this football club. That's the only way to put it. Only way to put it.
Yeah. That's well said. It is. And you gotta do a show tonight as well, mate.
Fuck, how good's that, eh? Our guest has dropped off. Fair enough. I said completely understandable if you want to drop off, but I think the other two boys are rocking up. So we're straight on after this. It could go for 10 minutes tonight. I couldn't even tell you. I don't know how much is going to be said.
I wouldn't blame you. Seriously.
Man. And I'm going to Sydney on Thursday. What What a fucking dickhead. Honestly, what a dickhead. I looked around. There was a point in the fourth quarter, or before the fourth quarter, so it was 3/4 time. And I just stood and looked at the stadium, and I just thought 80,000 dickheads rock up each week.
Each week.
Because that's what we are at this point. All of us. Dickheads.
Yep.
Just expecting something different. Honestly, it's just insane. It's absolutely insane. Anyway, I'll let you go. You got a few
Good
people
stuff,
here.
Joe. Thanks, brother.
I'll talk to you soon, man.
See you, man. If there's anyone that would like to join, I've got a full waiting room, so just give it a few more minutes. Where is he? Ed.
Hey, Terry.
Hey, mate. Here we are again.
I don't know what I was going to say. I had all this, I had all this stuff I was going to say, and I don't know. Look, I don't want to always come on and be the serial optimist, but I think I share a different point of view to some of the ones we've heard. But I guess that's the point of this, hey? I thought there was some stuff that was okay. And I know that I might be scraping the bottom of the barrel, but I'm not going to give up. And I think we as supporters shouldn't give up. There's some stuff there that we can latch onto. First of all, they're really good. They're really, really good. They're the best team in the comp, and they're everything we should strive to be. They've got this really nice balance of having good numbers committed to the contested ball without overcommitting, so that when it comes out, they've got heaps of numbers on the outside. And ultimately, that to me was the biggest difference for the day, is that we put all our chips into the contested ball, wherever it was around the ground, and they would have 2 or 3 guys who would sit out and say, do you know what? I'm going to back in those blokes that are at the contest right now to win the contest, and then I'm going to be on the outside, and I'll have space to then handball and run and carry and whatnot. And they're really good quality players, those ones that sit out. It's people like Steele Sidebottom. It's like, who's on him? It's like, well, his man is at the contest trying to get the ball, but we shouldn't be doing that. So that's a little bit of game plan and a little bit of discipline. I mean, look, stats are stats, but we had more disposals, we had more handballs, we've had the same inside 50s, we've got the same disposal efficiency, which is just, I don't know who was doing that stat. Same hit outs, more clearances, more stoppage clearances. They won set of clearances, more uncontested possessions, only 3 more turnovers, more marks. And yeah, I mean, we've dominated a lot of that. So I think what we did slightly better than we've done previous weeks, and, you know, like I said, I'm probably clutching at straws here, is that there was a clear intent at times to go fast and try to take the game on. The problem is, if you get it wrong against this team, they just absolutely punish you. And you only need to get it wrong by that much. And that's what happened every now and then. We'd get it wrong coming through the center and we'd turn it over. And here's the deal. They don't get it wrong. They're really precise when they're moving the ball through the middle with quick hands and with, just sort of like that almost manic play forward. I just feel like if we can find that balance of having good numbers in the contest and good numbers out of the contest, we're going to start looking a little bit more like what they looked like, as opposed to, okay, everyone's committed and now it hasn't worked out our way and now they've got us on the hop. The Darcy Moore issue and kicking it long to Darcy Moore, like, it was incredibly frustrating. But ultimately, it's a pretty difficult scenario. If you're the bloke with the ball in your hand, there's clearly nothing else on, and you have to go long. And Moore's positioned himself really well. I mean, he's the best defender in the league at the moment. He's the best captain in the league. He positions himself really, really well. So if we are going to do that big, long kick, we have to make sure we've got decent representation. And we have to make sure, like, what's the actual point of this? Like, are we trying to get it to ground? Are we trying to get it out of bounds? Are we trying to get it within 30 meters to goal? But today, it just sort of almost seemed like, I'm out of options, I'll kick it long. Like, there has to be some parameters. If we're going to kick the ball long right now, where there's Collingwood defenders, we've got to have Charlie, Harry or Pito or whatever it is, too many times it was like, cool, we're going to kick it long. And Darcy Moore is the spare man of a 2-on-3. It's like, that's not when to kick it long. So yeah, mate, look, again, I don't want to be too over the top with the optimism because we've got to get a lot better. But I do think there was a clear system today, but it was just skill execution. And I don't know if I'm not saying I can live with that, but I think it's better than no system at all. People are not going to agree with that, but yeah, that's
okay.
just how I'm seeing it.
No, mate, this is, there's no right or wrong. There just is. So I appreciate you coming on and giving a different perspective. It's important. Yeah.
You know what it's interesting. Someone before me, I mean, we've talked about this sort of footy IQ thing before. Just individual decisions in the game. You just sort of wonder, why'd you do that? Like, what were you thinking there? How did you think that was going to play out? Like in the last quarter, this is very specific, but Harry takes a mark and then he turns inboard onto his right foot. And it's like, what are you hoping for there, mate? Like, you're going to have to either kick it 7 meters on your left because that's how you've squared up, or you're going to have to kick it on your right. And in the end, he didn't have an option short, so he tried to sort of create one that didn't exist and he turned it over. But, you know, surely a player of that magnitude understands that the go-to in that situation for him is either I'm turning on my left or I'm giving a handball. Like, I just don't know what goes through the player's head when they think that's the option. And there are a number of incidents like that today. It's just like, really? Is that your first instinct to do that? So just don't know how to tidy that up. Like, is that just training? Do blokes just have to work on that at training? I don't know.
Very well said. Appreciate it. I really do, man.
Well, mate, I'll be back and I'll be there Friday and Friday I'll be watching from home and I expect us to win. You know, I think we're good enough to win. I expect us to win. And yeah, I think everyone should try and stick fat.
Yeah. Thanks, Ed.
Cheers, Terry.
Yeah. Luca with the 5 says there's no positivity today. Can certainly feel like that at times. Michael.
What are they doing to us? What is this club doing to us?
You saw the last bit of positivity from me for the year, maybe.
Me and you saw each other before the game, and if any of our players shed any of the same amount of emotion, love, and care for our club that you did before the game, I would have given us half a chance. From just 2 people going out there sharing that emotion. Once that ball was bounced, that emotion was gone from them, just gone. And to harp on about what Pommy and Paul said, the fraudulence of them trying to be tough, man. Half of our list couldn't punch themselves out of a brown paper bag. Really, like trying to be tough. You know, the disconnect between our supporters, which isn't our problem, it's not our fault. The club and the players is so evident. You look at Collingwood, how they embrace holistically everything about themselves. Their supporters, their players, they are everything that this club that we support strives to be. And yet they were 16th 3 years ago, and now they've surpassed 15 other teams, including us, in the dust.
Yeah.
We are nowhere as a football. I just can't believe how poorly and it's like a rot. It's a rot. You can't train stupid. I refuse to believe that this is a coaching thing. I really do. At some point, this list has to be held accountable for 4 coaches. It just has to be. You can't be going through another coach and then the list doesn't have any accountability for it. Jesse Motlop jumping up and trying to take Jeff Farmer Mark of the Year. Brother, you're a small forward. Stay on the fucking ground. And I'm surprised I'm even like this angry because I usually am quite reserved in the way I take this shit now. But I think the reason I'm so reserved is because I've taken so much disappointment. Like, how many more times as a supporter base can we continually get bashed and expect to come back? Joe was exactly right. 80,000 bananas there today. We were. Sorry to steal it off Rocco, but we were 80,000 idiots. And the definition of stupidity is doing the same thing over again. Now, us as a supporter base, we're always going to do it. But if I see us kick another damn ball down that wing to two forwards that aren't connecting as one, it just doesn't make any sense. Even if our forwards are marking it 75 metres out, they're both there. So who are they kicking it to? You look at the reserves, the disconnect. I was speaking to one of the trainers from the reserve last night at a wedding I was at. And she said to me, she goes, there's a complete disconnect between the VFL, the AFL, the whole club. This doesn't fathom to me. I just can't believe how. I'm going to say something I shouldn't say, and I'm not going to. So they don't deserve my anger at the moment. They really don't.
No,
they really don't. And we deserve better. We deserve so much better as a supporter base. We're a passionate group, and we are the laughing stock. I know that this video will go out, and our fan cams will go out, and everyone's just going to laugh at us. I understand that, but this is the passion that we have for our club. We just want to see some form of success or improvement. We're seeing nothing at the moment. Nothing. We've regressed from a team that finished 9th. It doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. It doesn't. Cottrell and Ed Kerr now, and oh God Almighty, Ed Kerr now. God, it's like John Farnham coming out and doing a retirement concert every single year.
Yeah,
it's the same shit over and over again. If I see Sam Doherty kick it 55 metres up in the air and it travels 15 metres in length one more time, I'll flip my shit. Lucky the MCG doesn't have a roof, because our players would hit it. And then McGovern going up forward. Oh, what's going on?
I did notice that. Sauce in defence, McGovern up forward. They made the change.
I don't have a problem if you want to change it. So if you want to make the change, no problems. Be a little bit proactive. It lasted 5 minutes. Like, really? The spaghetti I had tonight had more substance than that play. Come on, man. At least if you're going to do something, give it your whole heart. Like, just do it. Do it. Put McGovern up forward and leave him up there if that's what you want to do. Matt Kennedy playing on my check because Wiedering couldn't go with him. What's happened to Jacob Wiedering? Oh, God, Jacob.
I know.
Don't worry, the insurance will cover your money. It's fine. You'll get it back. It's all good. Jesus.
No, it's tough. It's tough to watch him play like this. It's tough
so
to watch
sad.
a lot of them play. Yeah, it is sad. It is sad.
Look, you look at Lewis Young has got the turning axis of the Titanic at the moment. Like, Jesus Christ, he could see the iceberg and still won't move. I don't know. Like, it's simple shit for me. You mark the ball, you go back 5 metres and you run back. This simple shit. Small, stay down when the balls are going for a mark. We just don't have, and the other thing as well, which is evidently clear after 10 rounds, is we just don't have the list that can use it by foot. We just don't. Our players just don't know how to use it by foot. You look at Collingwood, crisp, cutting, like scissor action with them. Us, elongated crap. I'm not going to leave you too long. If I keep going, I'm going to have an arrhythmia.
No need to get yourself too worked up. I mean, get worked up. But,
that's the first I've seen Paul that worked up. I missed him today, to be honest. That was the first time we hadn't sat together for so long. So I'm glad he's enjoying himself. But I did miss my boy next to me.
I can't wait to. It's time to get out of here. Time to get out of Australia.
It's time to go.
It's time to go. Good on you, mate.
Bye, lad. Take it easy, bro.
See you, bro. Rocco. I see his name in the comments. We've got him.
Hey.
Rock.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here because not many on the channel have watched as many Carlton Collingwood games as what you have. So you've seen the actual meaning of it as a rivalry.
What
did you make of that?
It's gonna it's sad. It's definitely the death of it feels like the death of the club today. Well, we'll talk about the rivalry on the boys are away, so I've got a couple of 79 premiership players on the couch for the whole show on Tuesday, so we can get a real feel of what's that all about. Yeah, this is yeah, it's sad, man. Like the soul has just disappeared out of this club. I can't even yell anymore. This is like ridiculous, man. You watch the game. Oh, sorry about that. I don't know what to say anymore, man. It's sad, man. The whole thing that the players look lost, man. They just don't know where to go. They don't know where to run. People go, is it the coaches? It's not the coaches. Man, to me, if you make a good, simple game plan where the players respect it and understand it, they wouldn't be doing those mistakes. I take a lot of those mistakes because they just don't understand what to do with the ball. You take that Wiedering one where he marks it, and McGovern, if you look at it, I was sitting there behind. McGovern's to the left of him free, right? He doesn't turn his head, right? He doesn't turn his head to hit him or even take. He doesn't look like he wants to take that kick anymore, right? Then he waits and he makes that error down the line, yeah? And they kick a goal from it. To me, that's not understanding or not having a game plan, because he wouldn't make that mistake if they understand the game plan. Like, they just look lost every time they get the ball. There was one stage, you look at Saad, he's sitting, they kick a point, and he gets the ball to kick it out, and he's doing this. He's going like, what's like, no one's doing anything in front of him. Like, they're all lost out there. And whose fault is that?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, have they gotten 3 coaches wrong now?
I don't know
That
if it's
didn't
the
implement-
coaches. Like, it could be. It could be they got another coach wrong. Like, that can happen. You can just keep getting coaches wrong. It doesn't mean now, like, you can't say that, oh, well, we've got 3 coaches wrong, so now we have to stick with him. I don't know if we have to stick with him. I got no idea, right? All I'm saying is it's not working again. Again, it's not working. Like, they just look lost. We look lost. We feel lost. We don't know. Even down at quarter time by 4 goals, my son turns to me and he goes, the game's over, man. We're not making up 4 goals. And I agreed with him. I said, we can't make up 4 goals. You know what I mean? Like,
and they weren't even difficult goals. The goals that we gave up in the first quarter, 4 or 5 of them were just so easy. They were off a turnover or a missed kick or something like that. It wasn't like Collingwood had to really work hard for them in that first quarter and sapped the energy. It was very similar to last week. Early in the game, just sapped the energy.
I said at quarter time, like, we've done nothing different this quarter. I really thought we were going to come out. I'm telling you, I was pumped this week. I thought we were going to come out. We were going to come out this week and really give a good account of ourselves. You can see Collingwood and other teams do it. It's so simple what they do. It's so simple what they do. Like, they win the ball at the heart of the contest. We win the ball at the heart of the contest. They win the ball at the heart of the contest. The difference is what we do next, right? I've been saying this for ages. They stay wide, mate. They hold their nerve, man. You see, they've always got 3 or 4 players waiting on the outside to receive the ball. I don't get why we don't do that. We keep getting sucked in. Why are we getting sucked in for? Why? I can't understand. And you see, when they get the ball, they'll go wide and they'll start to kick it, and there's not even a Collingwood player there yet. It's like they know they've got to go there. Like, that's game plan. It has to be. It has to be. And then naturally, with the pressure they put on us, we tend to make a lot of mistakes. We make a lot of mistakes, and we look and then we say, oh, our players, they're terrible, you know, they can't hit a target. Yeah, because they don't understand what to do with it next. Like, if you're just bombing it, they're just bombing it. And not only just into the forward line, they're bombing it all over the ground. It's always to a contest. You know what I mean? They never look within, and sitting behind the goals, there's always a free player. Even when they're running, you notice they all try to switch, they run. 1 or 2 players should stop and go back to the middle and open up but they don't do it. They just continuously, like robots, just from behind. It just looks so bad. They just kept running. And it's like Collingwood knew our game plan. better than what we knew it, because they were always there. They were always there. Whenever we kicked the ball, they were there. They knew exactly. Darcy Moore knew exactly where we were going to kick it. You know what I mean? Like, I almost feel like Voss should say, don't kick it to Mackay and Curnow. Just don't kick it to them. Kick it to everybody else except for them, because I guarantee they'll be free, because everybody will be on Mackay and Curnow, because what do? We kick it straight to them. Far out, man. It's really bad. And what Paul said or someone said, I don't think people understand the meaning of playing Collingwood anymore. I don't get why that's disappeared. Why has it disappeared? Like, it's Collingwood, for crying out loud.
That didn't have anything to that. I've been to quite a few in my life. That was the most lackluster Collingwood Carlton matchup I think I've been to. Even in 2018, when we were terrible, we would bring it to Collingwood and they'd run away late and they'd win by 4 goals, give or take. But that was it's like, am I wrong for expecting them to respond after what we've seen in the last 5 weeks? Should I not have expected better?
So the question is, why don't they respond? See, why don't they respond? You know, you say, a game plan. Is it the game plan? All right, it's the game plan. But is the game plan that bad? Then why is it so bad? Why is the game plan so bad if it is bad? Like, I don't understand what the game plan is, because I can see Collingwood's game plan, right? But I can't see our game plan. And then you say it's the players. They don't understand. They're not. Why? Why aren't they responding to it? Like, why isn't anyone doing anything about this? Like, the forward line, why is no one asked any questions about, like, Ash Hansen? He's been there for ages, and we just look worse now in the forward line. And those small forwards are some of the worst I've seen at the moment. At the moment, they do. You even look at not even the small, even the mids from Collingwood. Every time there was have a look at the game again. Every time there was a pack and there was some sort of contested ball, they hit the pack with speed. They run through that pack. We are flat-footed. Look at every time we're flat-footed. Oh, man. There's going to be heads rolling at the club. It has to be. It has to be. Like, if you want it or you don't want it, is it the coach? Is it the president? Is it the captain? Is it the leaders? Heads are going to roll there. You watch. And this is everybody's fault that this is happening. This is everybody's fault that this, and heads will roll. How long are they going to last? You know, Collingwood. What did Malthouse say in the paper recently? Vultures are going to be like, and they are. They're going to be. And unfortunately, mate, it might even set us back again now.
That's the fear. That's kicking in, if I'm honest.
It's going to set us back a little bit. And the players, when we have to, like, be honest with ourselves and think, like, that list isn't as good as we think it is. No. They're just no good. So anyway, I thought, look, everyone, thanks. All the people that come up to me today, I had a beer with someone. Everyone says thanks for the shows, for fan cam. So we are doing a good thing, or else I'm telling you, there'd be people like knocking themselves off every week if we weren't here to do.
I don't know what we did before this, to be honest.
I don't know. And that's what someone told me today. He didn't know what he did before this all happened, because he used to sit at home and just yell and scream. Justin, if you're out there, used to yell and scream by himself until we come, and then he realized that we're all the same, you know, and we're all here to help each other. But all right, just look, make sure, as I said, there's no Paul and Mars, but we've got 2 massive guests in there, premiership players, and I'm sure we're going to dissect this game and see what happens. So everyone keep tuning in, and I was going to say we'll be right, but I don't think we'll be right this year now.
Me too.
I think it's going to be a bit of a heartache. Anyway, guys, enjoy.
Thanks, Rock.
See you, mate.
Felix with the 5 says he stands by what he said 2 weeks ago. We would love for this rivalry to mean something in my lifetime. Go Pies. Thanks, Felix. Aaron says, nothing short of embarrassing in every way. Collingwood supporters singing the Carlton song as we left. Every dog has their day. Yeah. DC, we fans need a Q&A face meet with players and coach. And Luke, nothing we do has fluidity. Anytime we try to move the ball, our players can't get space from their opponent up the ground or in our forward line. Yet our defenders give 3 meters to opponents. It's a good call. Jad, let's do this.
Hey, bro.
Hey,
The
bro.
lighting all right? Yeah.
Lighting, you're good.
No, man. It felt like it feels like he's lost them, doesn't it? Do you feel like that?
I feel like the club's lost the fans. I
Do you
felt
think
like
yeah.
I felt like today for a lot of people was all right. I'll give them today to show us something, a little more looking within themselves and bring out something and reach for something that they haven't shown yet. And I think we will see a lot of people jump off for the season, so to speak. They might keep watching, but that emotional investment, I think, will turn away. I mean, I've never seen people leave before halftime. I saw about 11 people leave before halftime. Before halftime.
Yeah.
You know?
God damn it, eh? Yeah. I don't know if our two supposed leaders are the leaders that we need. Patrick Cripps and Sam Doherty. They're wonderful people from what I can see and hear. And Cripper can be inspirational. So many times he has made me stand up and just marvel and awe at this guy. But it's becoming apparent now, and ever since we started to really try and become a serious team, he's not the leader that we need. I don't think he understands the game from a deep, structural, tactical level. And I think that's what we lack in terms of leadership. He's a fantastic player, but I think the captaincy needs to be looked at. He's not the type of guy who is going to hold up the structure when we really need it to be held together. Like today, the arse fell out. Do you know what I mean? And there's no one on the field to hold it together. There's no one really pointing and guiding with much conviction out there. That's what I feel when I see him lead. He tries to lead by example, and it makes sense that that's the way he wants to lead because that's sort of how Judd led. But Judd had that understanding of structure and game plan, and he actually had other leaders who were really good in that area as well. So I don't know if it's purely a Cripps problem or if it's a club problem that they didn't invest in this area early days. I thought that Sam Doherty was that guy, but Terry, I love him, but he lets us down with dumb decisions. Same for Cripps, dumb, stupid decisions, time and time again. And I'm sick in my gut of ignoring it because they're good people. It has to be spoken about seriously because if we're going to keep them on as leaders, they have to change. They have to become the leaders we need them to become. If he doesn't understand the game from a deep structural point of view, Cripper, get someone to teach him or give it to someone else. And then I'm looking at alternatives and I see Wiedering. But I can't sit here and suggest that Wiedering gets the captaincy because the bloke is absolutely cooked beyond belief. I can't believe what's happened to that man. And I love them all. They're like my sons. But it has to be said now. I think Paolo said it earlier, this list is shot. It is shot. And we don't have the leaders to hold anything together.
Yeah, they don't
And
know
then
any
I
better.
look at, yeah, I think
That-
Joe was always big on it, wasn't he? He's always said that the rebuild, they just learnt off losers, career losers. And it's, yeah. And I can't believe it. I sat there and I thought, well, maybe it'll change when they start to get some success. But this shit, it's like ingrained in them, man. This is ingrained in the fabric of the club. And speaking of the club, I heard someone bring it up before, how Collingwood embrace who they are and embrace their fans and embrace their history. I said it to you a few weeks ago. We don't embrace who we are anymore. It's all good to be modern and to come along with the times and try and become better. But you have to keep some semblance, please, of what you are. Let us be arrogant. I don't care what they fucking say. Do you think any media personality or any other opposition supporter is going to hurt my feelings, our feelings after what we've been through? Let them say we're arrogant. Let them say, oh, they're coming, they're cooking. Embrace who we are. We're fucking Carlton. We've got 16 flags. Yeah, I said we got 16 flags. Fucking sue me. We have the swagger. Let the players embrace the identity of the club. Because I watched them, mate, and they're not Carlton anymore. And that doesn't mean they have to go and win flags and buy flags and buy players. But please, the identity is severely lacking across the board, and it seeps to the coach, Michael Voss. I feel like he says things and he puts on this persona because he thinks that's what he thinks he has. I think he's trying to please people that he shouldn't give a fuck about pleasing. Who are you trying to please, Michael? If you ever watch this, who are you trying to please? Tom Brown? Jay Clark? The media? Who are you trying to please, mate? Please be yourself, or else you're going to find yourself jobless very soon. It'll come quicker than you know, mate.
Yeah.
I understand. Sorry, mate. Yeah, go.
No, I was just going to touch on. Definitely seems to have this underlying want to not say it how it is in the media. And I doubt that he's talking like that to them behind closed doors. So the thing that confuses me is, well, if you talk to them behind closed doors like that, why do you talk differently external? Is it to show? I don't know. But
Yeah.
he lost this. It's like 75% of what he says, I feel like, is him. And there's just a little bit there where he's trying to pander to something or someone, or I don't know. I remember last week.
Do you know what my theory is now? Sorry, mate. Were you done?
I was going to say, do you remember last week when someone asked him about the midfield mix and he's like, oh, now's not the time to talk about it? Do you remember that part?
Yeah.
It was like,
very clearly.
I don't know.
You know what it is? I think what it is, this guy has walked into a massive fucking club. This club is huge. The amount of people and who have influence at that club spreads far and wide. And I think what's happened, I think, you know how you said you don't think he's talking like that to them behind closed doors? I think he is. Because he's not that good an actor. I think he is talking like this to them behind closed doors because he's feeling the pressure and he feels like he has to please certain people and to maybe keep his job or to get the pressure off him. I think the best leaders don't give a fuck about pleasing the people they don't need to.
Yeah, fair.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, I could be wrong, mate, but this is just what I fucking see. That little argument that he had with Cripper on the bench, and people are, mate, that should have been way more fiery. That honestly, that looked to me like they're a bit timid around each other. They're tiptoeing around each other. They're tiptoeing around saying what the real fucking problem is. Because you can see it in the body language there. It's like, oh, but what? Just fucking be honest with each other. I think that's the problem, a big problem in that club. The players and the coaches aren't honest with each other. Now, moving on, just the list build. What we're seeing right now, I truly believe is the result of a failed rebuild. This is the result. It's failed. Okay. Now look at the profile of the list. It's not complete. It is not all Michael Voss's fault. It's definitely not. The list, I compare it to, so when we were building the list, we built a statue, a nice, shiny gold statue. I don't know if this is going to make sense. This is how I see it. A nice, shiny statue. We've got all the great attractions, right? We've got the star halfback. We've got the star mid. We've got the star ruck. We've got the star full forward. We've got the star half forward. We've got the star halfback, right? It should have been a machine that we built, a functioning, well-oiled machine that functions. But the club they wanted to, oh, look, it looks like we're doing the right thing. We've got this player in this position and that player. Oh, the talent at Carlton's amazing, blah, 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 blah. But then we look across the league and lesser teams with lesser star profile play much better football than us because they're a machine. We didn't build that. We built this nice, shiny attraction. Oh, look, it's the new Carlton. They've embraced the modern way. They're slowly rebuilding. It's just, I don't know whose fault it is. I can't even guess where it went wrong or if that was the plan all along, but it really doesn't look like we built a purposeful machine to play with. We've got a beautiful shiny statue. You've got Charlie Curnow on the top. Beautiful. Look at him. He's covered in gold. We've got Harry Mackay, Coleman medalist, Patrick Cripps, Jacob Wiedering. Wow, Sard. Wow. It doesn't function at the end of the day, and that's what you're seeing. That's just what you're seeing. Skills, I believe. Last point. Sorry, mate. The skills, right? People are messaging me saying, "Oh, it's not on coaching." Truth is, we don't really know. I believe it is because I believe skills are a product of confidence. When you believe in what you're being told to do, and you're getting nourishment from the game that you're playing, you'd be amazed how much more confident you feel executing something. We didn't recruit 22 of the worst kicks to ever play the game in the history of the AFL, who handball at each other's feet and can't complete a 20-meter uncontested mark or a 20-meter uncontested kick to an uncontested player. Yeah. Well, what can you say, mate? It's just another wasted year again.
Yeah, it's looking that way. And we've got a game on Friday in 5 days, just like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's going to be fun.
Good stuff. Thanks for coming on, man.
See you, mate.
See you, brother. Love, Jad. Luke with the $3 says, Anthony Koutafidis as coach. He has the passion. The Booze Hound with the 5 says, spot on. I was pumped when we landed Voss. Hard-nosed, never say die attitude. He's been nurtured, as has the rest of the club. Mr. Lachlan, I'd like to say hello. Here's $2, okay? Thanks, Mr. Lachlan. Booze Hound again. Bruise-free and progressive. So far away from what got us respect. A spray from David Parkin would scare opposition players into scoring for us. #weak. Riley.
Ugh. We've been through this story before, haven't we?
Fuck, mate. We've literally been doing this for 5 fucking years, brother. 5 fucking years. It's the same disappointment. The only difference is that 5 years ago we said, don't worry, because once we get to 2022 and 2023, that's when the premiership window is. And now we're at that point where it's supposed to be starting to work, and it's not.
Yeah, no, it's the hope. It's the hope that kills you. I said a few weeks ago to a fair few people, the next 6 weeks after that West Coast game probably dictates the entire direction of this club. And I think we've got the answers. And it's not good. And I mean, today, I think it's got progressively worse post that Brisbane game. I came in optimistic, as you did, that many did, hopefully after what last year, Lion and the Sand sort of game, but it was just a bunch of forks. You know what it reminded me of? And I remember you saying this last year when we played it reminded me of Essendon last year when they played us. They came out all fake bravado and it was just flat and weak. We were the same today. We were exactly the same. It's just horribly disappointing, and there's a lot of soul searching to do, and I think there's a lot of deep considerations we need to have internally in the footy club about what direction we go. Because if we're going to be this middling football club at the moment, it's the place you don't want to be, especially with a 19th team coming in the next 4 or 5 years. You almost have to seriously think, do we look to regenerate? Because if you're not going to contend, what are you doing?
What do you think about the conversation around? I mean, we've had 3 coaches. We've had, is it 2 list managers or 3?
2.
2. So, what's there to be said about? Well, the plan's consistently changing because you have different philosophies with how to build the profile of the list. I don't think Nick Austin goes and gets Mitch McGovern back in the day. I don't think he goes and gets certain players that we have on the list right now. So it's kind of like chicken and the egg. Like, we can. All right. Those who are talking about, like, is it Voss? Is it not Voss? Well, I mean, if it is Voss, does he have all the players that he wants to play the way he wants to play? And if it isn't Voss, how do we know that next coach is going to have the players that play
We don't. And whilst you can think structurally that there might be certain issues, I think the asset has to be on the playing group. I mean, some of the efforts that we have seen over the last 6 weeks and today was just, it was terrible. It was terrible. You're having blokes jogging defensively consistently. I don't know how many times I saw today when the ball spilled from a marking contest and it seemingly was 4-on-1. I mean, I was sitting next to a bloke who was Canadian who's going to his 3rd game in his life, and he's even said to me, wow, you guys aren't giving anything. Like, this is a bloke, it's the 3rd game he's watched in his life. And he can see it. He's from the other side of the world. He's used to watching hockey. Like, seriously, it's just, it's that stark. So, some of the efforts that we are giving, the skill level is ordinary. They look out of confidence, and the reason why I don't think you can, say it's necessarily, Voss at this point in time. Let's say maybe Voss is the answer, and people think, oh, we need to get rid of him. Who'd want to come to Carlton as a coaching staff realistically when you're just churning and burning because your job security is under question straight away? Some asset needs to be put on these players, and it needs to be put on the leadership group. I think, unfortunately, he had a magnificent year last year. I'm not individualising, but Patrick Cripps, every time there has been a tough game this year where the acid test has been put on this group, he's failed. He failed today. He failed last week. He failed against Brisbane. He failed against the Saints, and he was failed against Adelaide. That's leadership, unfortunately, that's been lacking. Wiedering's another one. You look at Lewis Young's another one. Not that he's a leader, but he was one that, was really progressing last year, has gone backwards. We have gone backwards enormously, and I think it's getting worse. They look soulless out there.
Yeah.
They look incredibly soulless. And, we talk about energy out on the playing field. We talk about energy from the fans, and I think that's the most lackluster atmosphere I've seen in a Carlton Collingwood game in my life.
No doubt about it. Could smell the nervous energy before the game. You could hear it. I could hear the players screaming on the ground at the MCG. You never hear players screaming on the ground because the crowd's usually too loud. It was fascinating.
It was a weird day of footy. I think, it was just, you saw and Collingwood are clearly a better side, but I don't think Collingwood that good today. They could have beat us by 12 goals. They could have beaten us by 12 goals.
Yeah, the Collingwood supporters I spoke to today at the train station, all of them said the same thing. We didn't play our best today.
No, they didn't. They missed it. They missed some pretty simple targets where they could have got us the other way. But it was just one of those games. It was arm's length professional performance, and it was embarrassing. It was an embarrassing performance against a side that's a rival. You wanted to. I think Rocco said a couple of times before, when he was on a couple of times ago, about players not knowing what the rivalry meant. I don't know if you heard the podcast earlier in the week with Mark Murphy and Jesse Motlop, but there was a question in there about, do you know who the original Mosquito Fleet was? And he couldn't name one of them. Now, that sort of speaks to they don't understand what's come before them. And I think that's a thing. Not that that's going to dictate wins or losses, but understand the history of where you come from, what you represent, how much this means to people. You should understand the past and what you're representing, I think. That's just me.
Fair. I'm with you.
Like, it's
A world of pain,
and
brother. Fuck
it is
me.
it is a world of pain. And then we got Friday night, and I've got no confidence we beat them. No confidence we beat Sydney. I've got no confidence we beat Melbourne. And then we're what, 4-7? Season's done. Vultures come out, say, "Oh, sack the coach, sack this." You've got Matheson coming out 2 weeks ago, just putting his comment out to the Vultures. We'll probably have another fan movement again about sacking the board and everything. Like, it's just over and over and over again. It drives me insane, mate.
Yeah.
It drives you insane. It drives everyone insane.
Drives
Can't
all
deal
of us into that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mate.
Try keep your head up. I don't know how you do, but try.
I don't know either. No, it's, to be honest, coming home to this was the most exciting part of the day, and the meat pie that I had today, because the meat pie delivered what I wanted from it. And then, like, I know at least we're all kind of together. There's a sense of togetherness and unity with the fan cams. So that's
exactly. That was probably one of the few pies. I had a good meat pie. I think I had a decent beer, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So they delivered. Carlton didn't. On to Friday.
See you there, bro.
See you there, mate. Take care, bye.
Bye. All right. Where are we? Foil Grin Timmy, $2. It made me sad. We weren't like this. True. Now, I've put the link in the chat again for those of you. I can see in the comments. We have a full waiting room, so it's just a hot waiting room tonight. Let's try and speed it up a little bit. Let's do it. Josh.
Hi, mate. I'm not going to ask you how you are. I think we're all pretty flat.
Yeah.
Obviously, going into this game, well, for me personally, this week, I was sort of with you. Like, you were pretty optimistic, I think, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was pretty optimistic. I actually thought, like, this game's got a lot of meaning to it. Like, you look at last year, how it obviously ended round 23, and then more importantly, it was just to get our season on track. And all my Collingwood friends and my cousin, Carlton will win today. They'll win. You guys have been scrutinised in the media. Just, they didn't show up. I was so disappointed. Mate, when Collingwood, like, as fans, we all turned up. When Collingwood ran through their banner, booing everything, the players didn't turn up, though. I'll tell you that. I sat behind the Carlton cheer squad. Mate, it was dead. It was dead.
Yeah.
Nothing to cheer about.
Well, that's right. That's right. I saw a message that people were talking to people in the cheer squad, telling them to cheer. Cheer what? Cheer
exactly.
What are you cheering?
Exactly. And the cheer squad, they turn up every week, right? It's on the players to give us something to cheer for, So
it's always someone else. It's always someone else's fault but the players.
I know. Yeah, look, it's round 10. I don't know. I feel like the season's slowly starting to slip away. I think most of us are. I just can't believe it. Really does feel like 2021. There's similarities as well. I don't remember who Lockie Plowman was laughing with, but you got Steel Sidebottom laughing at us. And remember, Lockie Plowman was laughing with one of the Collingwood players a few years back. Like, I remember that whole little saga and all that. I don't know, man. Like, is it boss? Did we make the wrong move? Was it the board? Is it the players? It's the whole club. That is the answer. The whole club. It can't be all. It's just we're stuffed. And what I really fear that we've stuffed a rebuild here. 8 years building into all this. Are we going to be left with nothing? Like Cripps is 28. He's 28. He's won a Brownlow before he's played a final. He's won a Brownlow medal before playing a final. He might go down as one of the only Brownlow medalists in history to never play AFL finals. And I hope he doesn't because I love the bloke. But
Yeah.
fuck. It's the whole club. That's it.
Yeah. Fair. Well said, mate.
All right, on to Sydney. We'll
See
do
you
it
on
over.
Friday.
Absolute, we're bananas.
Yeah.
We'll come back for the fan cams. It's insanity. We come back. It's literally every weekend. Watch the footy, get on the fan cams, complain, whinge, blah blah blah. It's insanity. We're bananas. In saying that,
Hang on.
yep. I'll see you next week for the fan cams.
See you, my man.
See ya.
Amazing. Sayaf.
What's up, my brother?
They did that. They put that. They turned that in today. That's what they turned out. That's the big response. Yeah.
I said it last week, bro. The Blues are back. This is us. I'm telling you, bro. This is the real Carlton.
Yep.
That honeymoon period, man. We enjoyed it for 10 rounds, but this is us.
Oh, it was so much fun. Oh God, it was so much fun for 10 rounds.
It was so good, bro. It was so good. Fuck. Bro, the amount of times I've gone on fan cams, like replays, and watched myself saying we're playing finals, this and that last year. And now we're here. We're not playing finals this year. I don't see it happening. But it's like I said last week, bro, it's so much more than just not playing finals.
Yeah.
We've gone so far back that it's not even funny, man. Like, I listen to Nathan Buckley and Kane Corn sometimes. They do their Monday show on SEN. Early in the year, he was saying it's the hardest spot is going from 9th place the previous year to making the 8 and contending. And at the time, obviously your bias, talks to you, this and that, but it's so true, man. Like, the way we finished last year just destroyed them, their confidence, their minds. And you can see it now. We haven't had any notable wins, man, this year at all. The way we play the game, Paolo said, I hate watching them play. I don't feel anything, man, at all. And it's beyond being upset and angry. It's just it's accepting that it's done. It's done with this playing group because they haven't given us anything for me to believe they're gonna make it.
So true. We're not at that point in their careers where they're in their first to third year, and it was, I'll just wait until they've had 5 preseasons and wait until they've played 80 to 100 games. Like, they have. Like, some of them are now going past 24, 25. Cripps is closer to 30 than what he is 20. Yeah. It's gonna come. Something's gonna happen. It's because we're moving in this direction somewhere, and it's gonna come to a head at some point, and there's gonna be a burst of something. It's the way it works. Now, whether that something is new, I don't know, new players, new coach, I don't know, but it's all building towards something right now in probably a negative way right now.
100%. Bro, look, just the game in isolation, right? Let's say it's not coaching and it's the players. Bro, they can't do primary school shit. They can't hit 10-meter targets. They can't hit a 5-meter handball. They overhandball. They overkick. They always kicking, bro. They always kick to a disadvantage. It's never to our forwards' advantage, ever. We literally made Darcy Moore look like the best fullback in the competition. He had 11, 12, 13 intercept marks, man, because all we did was kick it to him. And he was a loose man. We didn't do anything. No one shut him down, nothing. It was just literally, I don't care who it was, whether it was Chera, whether it was Kennedy, whether it was Cripps. Every time they kick it into our forward 50, it's behind our forward. It's over their head. Never to a lead. Nothing. Kicking it too high. Kicking too long. Bro, we can't, man. I'm saying it's primary school shit, but they can't execute. Put coaching aside, this team can't execute a simple kick or a simple handball. And if you can't do that, don't worry about the rest. But I don't know what it is, bro. I don't know where to go. What do you do when you beat Sydney next week? if you beat Sydney next week? What do you do if you beat Melbourne the week after? It doesn't mean anything at all. And that's the sad part. Imagine they come out, they beat Sydney by 50 points. Hypothetically, it literally doesn't mean anything because you've done nothing all season and it's going to be a waste of another year yet again. I don't know where you go from here, bro.
It's literally just hope for the best.
I was in the
Get a
same
sugar
boat,
hit.
bro. Today was my last roll of the dice for them. I've been optimistic for so long, man. Even last year, the way it ended, going into this off-season, just hopeful, because all we've done is hope for the past 5 years. That's all we've done. And I swear on everything, but today was the last straw. And if they didn't get it done against them, where it actually mattered, like, what does the rivalry even mean, bro? Now, they don't give a shit about it at all. The only reason this rivalry even still exists is because of us, because we call it a rivalry. They couldn't. To them, it's just another game. But for me, bro, it was the last straw.
Fair.
I
don't blame you, man.
For the rest of the season. But we'll still go every single week, and that's the sad part. I'll drive an hour every single week, and I'll drive an hour back home to watch the same thing. But I just have no hope that that anything will turn anytime soon. Let alone this season.
Yeah, fair. Keep your head up, bro.
Always
as best you can. Yeah, that's it. We just ride the wave, even though it's decades long.
Never ending, bro. Never ending pain.
Yeah. Well, you have a good night, and I'll speak to you throughout the week.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Have a good night too.
All right, bro. See you, man.
Yeah, bro.
Mark.
How's it going, bro?
Good, bro. You?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Not too bad. Been better. Bro, when does this thing fucking end? When does it fucking end? We're cooked, man. Every single one of us that turn up every week, we are fucking cooked. I mean, oh my God, this is basic shit that they're getting paid good fucking money to do, but they can't execute. And it's frustrating to just sit there and watch. And I thought this week they would at least show some heart and show some passion. And the most passion we got was fake bullying Collingwood around. Like, really? Who are we trying to kid, man? Who are we trying to kid? They punished us where it mattered. How did we punish them? By ripping someone's shirt off? Like, come on, man. Like, if I could say one thing to the players, like, what is it? What's going on? You're not happy with the meal you're getting. You're not happy with the tactics. You know, be a man and say it to the coaches. Grow a pair and say it to the coaches, because this is getting to the stage where us members, us fans, you know, we're showing more effort and more passion every single week, not just more than the players, but more than the coaches, more than the board, more than the whole club. We front up every single week, every single fucking week. And what do we get in return, man? What do we get?
Disappointment.
Oh my God, mate. Oh my God. I don't know whether to laugh or cry anymore. Like, I don't know. I just don't know anymore, mate. I'm at the stage. I remember I looked at my friends, my dad in the eye. I'm like, what are we doing with ourselves? Like, yes, we'll turn up next week, and yes, this is all, you know, in the heat of the moment stuff. And yes, we love the club, but we just want returning value, because we're the laughing stock of the competition. You know, our rivals are laughing at us right now. Literally, Side Bottom was laughing at us. Literally. It's like, where to from here? That's what I want to know. Where to from here? Like,
I know I don't have the answers. I only have more questions every week, it seems.
Like, is it list manager? Is it coaching? Is it the players? Is it the board? What is it? Like, I don't think anyone knows.
Yeah, there's a death of sorts. I think I felt it in the Brisbane game. I said it in my review in the Brisbane game. I couldn't quantify what it was, but I felt this death of sorts. And death is a really weird word to use when you're talking about a sporting team. But I felt it then, and continue to feel it over the next few weeks. And then seeing today the lack of, I don't know, soul. I'm going to put it out there as being the word, the lack of soul today. Yeah, something's fractured again. And maybe it's always been fractured.
You know, I think Pommy said it. I think Pommy said it a few years ago on fan camps. There's this little cancer in the club that we just can't get rid of.
Yeah.
We just can't beat. And that quote has stuck with me ever since the Brisbane game. There's that cancer in the club that we just can't knock out. And cancer is now spreading to external noise from, fucking Big Mouth Madison and, the board. And, it's just like we need to get on the same page, because right now, more than ever, not the players, not the coaches, but this jumper, this is what needs us the most. And I for one, have had enough of people taking the piss out of us, because I want to be the ones to take the piss out of everyone for a change.
Yeah. Well, we need to get on with it, because we have a game Friday. So I just hope we're not doing it again. Yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back. I'll be watching. Yeah.
But anyways, bro, fucking
thanks, bro.
Keep your head up. Keep doing what you're doing. You're amazing, mate. Appreciate you.
Thanks, brother. See ya.
See you, mate.
Josh.
Kerry. Oh my god, what is this club, man? I was so thrilled this week. Oh yeah, Collingwood. Let's get after it. Woke up today, like, oh shit, it's Collingwood. I think today for me was this really symbolic showing that our club has become just this disconnected, lost, non-cohesive, broken, spiritual group of people that don't know what they're playing for. I know when I put on this monogram, I know why I'm wearing it. I can't say that for a lot of them, unfortunately. That silence, that solemn silence from the Carlton end is so loud. So loud. Like in the second quarter, I remember Cripps took a mark on sort of halfback coming out of 50, and I just sort of blurted out, because it came to me, like, welcome to the game, mate. And there were 20 people around me that all looked around and said, yep, because he didn't rock up for the first quarter. Don't know where he was. Yeah, spiritually, this club feels broken. And I think today was, logistically, always, we could technically maybe make finals this year, but spiritually, it looks over.
We've seen seasons end. We are, as fans, are specialists in seeing, broken seasons, we'll call them, in seasons where you're not making finals and you're not contending. And I think now that we've had 10 games of a sample size, I think it's starting to really creep in for a lot of us. Some picked it up, weeks ago. There's always the ultimate pessimist and the ultimate optimist, and then there's everybody in between. So everybody falls somewhere in between those 2 points.
Yep.
But yeah, I think a big chunk of people today put a lot of energy into, all right, I'm happy to let the last 4 weeks not slide, but if you do it today and spark something today, then you keep the hope alive. And look, it's not over technically, mathematically, but the writing is kind of on the wall, right?
Yeah, yep, for sure. I sort of had this thought occur to me this week that at some point the club, its people and the fans are going to need to get over the last 25 years.
Yeah.
And I think today I realized, the 80,000 bananas that rocked up have invested the time, but money and time and energy, love and spirit, everything. The next step is out of our control, and that's so painful.
Mm.
I had a moment this week, and it's sort of innocuous, but I think it speaks to where we are. Went down to Princess Park because I'm down in Melbourne and needed to go get a Guernsey, living it up. And there used to be a wall of names that were true believers. It was just a wall of names, and that was meant to be there forever. And I have a personal attachment. My grandfather's there, he's passed away. My father's there, he's passed away. They've knocked down the wall. And I went up to the front desk chick, bless her, she was great, but
Yep.
she said, yeah, all of the names on the wall weren't saved. Sorry, we don't know who was on the wall. And it was sort of this, it's very hard not to read it as the people running the club have no recognition or respect for past and present, or future, even.
Yeah. Right.
Thanks, man.
Well, thanks for joining, man. Appreciate it.
Always. We'll be back Friday. Oh.
See you Friday.
See you, Terry.
See you, mate. Shannon.
Hey, Tez, how
Hey,
are
mate.
you?
Good, good. How are you?
Look, yeah, numb. Numb is the
Numb.
word that I'll use.
Yeah.
Yep. Being told to cheer tonight was a highlight for me. After Collingwood had just kicked a goal and they were 44 points up, someone in the cheer squad goes, Shannon, start cheering. Yeah, cool. No worries. That's how I'm going.
I'd love to get your insight into the vibe of what you felt from your end, because it
We
was
just sat
sapped
there.
away.
What can you do?
Yeah. Yeah.
What can you do?
Yeah.
Like, we get told to cheer more. Well, kick more goals and we will. Like, get the vibe up and we will. It was actually dead silent sitting at the G today. It was just zero atmosphere. I just being told to cheer was a first for me. I'm usually one of the loudest in the cheer squad, so it's first for everything, isn't there?
I thought you were going to win the $2,500 as well, by the way. The camera came really close to you.
Would have been nice, but no, Steph won, well deserved. We're all very, very happy for her, so it was good.
Yeah. Where are you with the hope of the year?
I'm on the fence. I'm getting a vibe that we're going to do the complete opposite to what we did last year and start off the year bad, and then after the bye come out and produce a miracle, as opposed to being fantastic before the bye and then turning to shit. So that's where I'm at.
Fair.
So yeah, we'll see.
Fair.
We'll see.
I've got a reserve bank of about two more rounds. Like, this was my wit's end, but I've always got an extra 2 weeks where I can be a bit patient. But yeah, right now it's been a tough 5 weeks, 6 weeks.
It is. And we're going to have another 4 or 5 tough weeks. So we'll see where we're at after the Gold Coast game. But right now I just think we need the bye.
Yeah. Fair.
It is what it is, Tez.
It is what it is. I'll see you Friday.
You'll see you Friday.
Yeah. All right. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Luca.
Mate, mixed emotions, isn't it? I can see you sitting there. You've been sitting here for almost 2 hours and you haven't smiled once, I can say. It's more of a question now, I think, what do you look at? Do you look at the players? Do you look at the club as a whole? Like, at the end of the day, a fish rots from the head up. There's only so much you can take. You know, there's people that have been there for a long time, that have made decisions for a long time, that you can say, if this was a real business and you were making bad decisions, you wouldn't be here for much longer. You'd be shutting up shop. You'd be saying you're closed, out of business, go home. I know that there's been some change, but there's been a lot of people that are still there, that have somehow still lasted, that have still been part of decisions that have been made. You know, you can blame coaches as much as you want, and part of it, I'll be honest, is to blame. Voss has been stubborn. He's kept players in the side that probably needed to go and have a go at the twos. He's kept people in the twos that that probably needed to go in the ones. You got Binns that's been performing now, and it's been probably his 4th week in a row that he's put his hand up saying, what more can I do? I know that the word Paddy Dow and the name Paddy Dow has been floated, but you look at the young kids that are there now and going, geez, Paddy Dow's getting 40 touches. I know that he might not be working really hard defensively, but how much more can you just ignore the name? You got players that don't even want to lay a tackle that are sitting there getting games and just going, I'm good enough. And then you got, unfortunately, you got fans rocking up to the game that have been blindsided. They've put Diesel Williams as head of football. Yeah, Diesel was a great player, but the guy can't even remember people's names that he used to play with. How is he running a football department? Nothing against Diesel. He was great. I'd love to see him play again. But it's like they put Band-Aid after Band-Aid after Band-Aid in the club. And now those Band-Aids are really starting to peel off. And we've done it again. We've done it again with Voss. We did it again with the board clear out. We're going to put Sayers, who's made really bad. Look, he's been part of the board for 3 coach sackings now, and he's still there. Like, he's now said he's probably not going to renew when the presidency comes up in 2 years. Just leave. You've done what you can for the club. There's nothing else you can do. Look at what Melbourne did. Look at what Richmond did. They went and found people with football heads and put them in the football club. I know the AFL may have helped them out with whatever they did, but you can't say the AFL haven't helped us. They've helped us as much as they can. At some point, you just have to put your hands up and go, we've made the wrong decisions. I've made the wrong decisions. My time's up. Next. We looked over coaches because they didn't fit the agenda that the football club wants to go for. Ross Lyon walked out the door. There's rumours why Ross Lyon didn't decide to interview for the Carlton Football Club. And it wasn't because he didn't want to interview, and he said that publicly. He wanted the job. But there were people at the club that didn't want him there because of allegations that got made and then got dropped. Things happen. Look at Clarko. Poor Clarko's had to walk away from football because accusations were made that he strongly believes were not true, but he's had to walk away. And it's just a mess. We don't have a brand. The football club doesn't have a brand. There's no brand in the game we play. You can go and watch Colts footy for under 18 kids, and they play the same way. Mark the ball out the back, kick it as wide as you can. That's it. There's actually no brand of football, and I think that's the problem. We've lost the brand of the Carlton Football Club.
Bit of our identity.
100%. Like, you can look at during the week, you got Sid Jackson sitting there and they're showing vision of what Carlton Collingwood used to be, what Carlton used to be. And the players show none of it. Absolutely none of it. There's no brand to the game. There's no brand within the club. There's nothing. It's all good and, well and good that you got Sayers tweeting, come to the game this week. It'd be great to see as many fans as there. If you play a good brand of footy, fans turn up. Fans turn up. We've seen it. Carlton Football Club have fans that turn up. But if you start playing rubbish football and no brand, showing no identity, no heart, they're not turning up anymore. It's really simple. We've seen them not turn up. I've been a member for 19 years, and I'd like to say that I've been to every Melbourne game that there has been. I might not travel interstate, but I reckon every Victorian game that I can get to, I'm there. But and I won't stop going, but you see the fans leave. Like at half time today, people were walking out because they go, okay, game's over. What for? Why are you wasting your time? I'd never leave a game early, but there's been times where you're close.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just know. Like, I know it's round 10 and you still got, 13 games, 12 games to go. But there's no... I'm sorry, you can't say the last 9 weeks of football haven't led to what was today. Yeah, we beat West Coast by 100 points, but Hawthorn just beat them by 120. You know what I mean? They're second last on the ladder. We're not far from it now. What are we now? 11th. I don't know. It's not good enough around the whole board of the football club, to be honest. Every corner just has band-aids that are leaking.
Mm. Very well said, mate. Good point you raised. Mm.
Yeah, just something needs to change. Something really needs to change. We need to hand the keys in certain aspects and just go, we need to find people that can fix this football club. Cook, great appointment. You know, he was part of a football club. Like, let's be honest, since I was a kid, I haven't seen Geelong really be that bad. Honestly, look at Collingwood. I've seen them drop out of the 8 maybe once, twice. Like, we haven't even gotten to a point where it's either we're just out of the 8. Back when Ratton was coaching, we were just hanging on in there, and we got to a point where it was like, gee, we're not far from it. But I haven't seen us consistently be that side. Like, look at Sydney. They're just consistently there. Yeah, they've dropped off this year. But sides like Geelong, Collingwood, they've just, as a football club, they're just strong. They've got a brand. They've got an identity. The players that come in, they know what to do. They know the level they need to be at. Us, it's like we're accepting that we're shit. We're accepting that we're crap, and we're just going to, keep on going. We can't get much worse.
Mm.
Right.
It's a lot to think about in that.
It is like there's no brand. Like I'd love to see at the footy one day and have a chat. I've seen you a few times, but when you're at the footy, you don't want to talk about this crap. You just want to focus on the game. But there's a wider chat conversation to be had. You can rock up to the game, and Voss can only do as much as you. Look at Collingwood. They went and got McRae, but look at what they got around him. They went and got Lepage, star football player, failed as a coach, as a head coach, but look, he's obviously providing something. Bolton, probably one of the best assistants there was. He didn't work for us. There are reasons he didn't work for us, but he's won 4 premierships as an assistant coach, or 3 premierships as an assistant coach. The best assistant, there's probably one of the best there's ever been, but they got him there because that's the role he plays. Collingwood have also got a really strong voice. McRae's done really well at just gripping the Collingwood Football Club together and saying, we are Collingwood, look at what we stand for. I don't see any of it Carlton. And Voss was a Carlton kid. That's what I don't get. Like, he saw how good we were, and he was just as good as a player, and he's come to us and it's like he's a mute. like honestly, it's like, there's areas that we need to work on. Great. I think 80,000 people saw it today. Do it.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have to move on, but
no, that's all right. Sorry, I've taken up people's time, but
it's so fine. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, man.
No worries, mate. Have a good one. I'll see you around.
You too. See ya. Arsenal till I die.
Terry, hello.
What's
Mate,
happening?
No good.
No good.
I remember 1999. I was actually at that grand final, and it's crazy to think we've been crap ever since then. It blows my mind. And this game today, just watching them, something's not right. There's a disconnect at the club. There's no leaders. There's no passion. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. It's hard to come on now this late because everyone's already said some great things, but it's dire. It is not good. It is not good, and I don't know what it's going to take to turn it around. But
what's your
yeah,
do you have hope for the rest of the year? What on a scale of no hope to still hopeful, where are you for the rest of this year?
Honestly, going by the performances so far this year, not much hope, to be honest. I mean, still watch them. Say I won't, say I will. Always tune in, but they're just there's something going on. There's something seriously wrong going on at the club, and it's sad because it doesn't look like they're a team out there. It doesn't even look like they like each other, to be honest. I don't know what it is. Don't know what's happened. It's no good Matheson coming out and saying that shit anyway. He's not even helping, is he? What's he doing? That doesn't even help at all. I mean, I don't know if it's Voss. I don't know if it's assistant coaches either, but something's got to change, and I don't know if that's going to happen this year. But the thing that I find crazy is that some of these teams, Collingwood, you look at Port, you look at Brisbane, they're all at the bottom and then have picked the right coach. I mean, no one's got a divine right to. You're not always going to get that right, and we've just been woeful in that department. I mean, how many coaches can we keep going through? It's crazy. But the way they've managed to turn around their clubs is incredible. They have an identity now. They play good football. They play fast. we just look like we have no idea. The players don't even know what they're doing. And we're making an average. We've got a decent team, I'd say. We've got a great spine, and we just look bang average. I mean, Sam Walsh, we're all saying how good he is. He's come back and he's gone backwards. Adam Sard as well, one of my favourite players. He's not doing a lot, is he? I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know, Terry. Not looking good, mate. But
not looking good. But we'll show up and just hope for better days, right?
That's it, mate. That's it.
Yeah. Thanks for waiting and thanks for tuning in.
Oh, good. Thank you, mate. Take care. Have a good night.
See ya. You too. Tyson.
Oh boy, what was that? Oh god. To be honest, like I've been a Carlton supporter through and through. Like my dad put a Carlton football in my cot when I was like a few days old, and yeah, I don't know. It's just I don't know how much more I can take.
How old are you?
I'm 21 now. So yeah, the best I've seen this club was 2011, and we've only made a semi-final since I've really taken an interest. So yeah, it's just I look at the players that are consistently getting games, and it's just like Petnet, no, never really rated him. Newman, no, but then it's sort of like, okay, those aren't really players that we should be playing. Who do we play instead? That's sort of the answer that I'm searching for.
It's a good point. A lot of people will make changes without bringing in a solution.
Yeah, exactly. Like people saying Vossi should get the sack. Well, okay, who's going to come in then? You know, we've been through about 6 coaches in 10 years. You know, it's I've started tuning out games. Like today was a record. I tuned out like just before the end of the first quarter. Like that was a record for me.
You were watching from home?
Yeah, I'm in Perth, so I only get to go to like 1 or 2 games a year. So
yeah.
No,
tuned out. Switch the channel.
Oh yeah, I mean, luckily Supercars was on, so I was able to watch that. But with the side currently, there's not really much point in me going to Melbourne to watch games. That's right. Yeah, it's not worth the expense.
Fair. Well, mate, thanks for tuning in, and hopefully something changes soon.
Yeah, hope.
Yeah. Good on you, man. Thanks, Tyson.
No worries.
All right, bye. All right. So I just realized we've got 17 minutes and there's about 10 of you in the waiting room, and the Blues Brothers are starting at 9 p.m. So we're going to have to really whip through these. Zach, what have you got for me? One sentence to summarize today.
Terry.
Zach.
I can only say one sentence.
Yes.
Season's finished.
Done?
See it. Yeah. Can I say a few other things quickly?
One other thing. Be quick. Let's go.
What does this represent, Terry? What does this badge represent? This represents the Carlton Football Club. This club we died for, and the only finals I've ever seen was 2013 when I was 3 years old. And I haven't seen no success. Something's got to change, Terry. See ya. We'll be on the fan cams on Friday like every week. See ya.
Thanks,
Have a
legend.
good night.
You too. Max with the 8 says, Pies are the best in the comp right now. Blues not good enough today. Voss has the rest of the year and next to show us something before he should be axed. Have to back him in. We used to be feared and made AFL real, but not now. Thank you very much. All right. Beachy. Hello, mate.
Good evening, Terry.
Very disappointing day yet again.
Mate, I've had an absolute stinker. I went and watched the VFL out at Willie beforehand, left at half time to make the ones game, and then saw what was probably the hardest game of footy to watch I've had in about 31 years. And that's actually saying something, because even with the darkest days when we were busted for the salary cap, that it wasn't as hard then, although it was probably pushing it then. But this was against a rival, Terry, and this is a rival that we hate as a club. People need to remember that we had a distinct hatred for this club for 125 plus years, if not more, and we just let them walk all over us.
Yeah. It's bitterly disappointing, mate. Bitterly disappointing.
Yeah.
And we're sick of it. And we're just going to keep doing this until something else happens, I guess.
Beyond belief, mate. Beyond
mate.
belief. We are sick of it entirely.
Yeah.
Now, people are saying who's to blame for. I don't know. I'm just a commoner. Yeah, you and I are just commoners, Terry. I mean, as far as we can say, we can probably say, players are at fault, coaches are at fault, boards at fault. That doesn't matter. As long as it doesn't change, as long as it stays the same, this is going to keep happening. And something does need to change sooner rather than later. I don't know how. I don't care how. Get it done.
Well said. Thanks, Beachy.
Thanks, Matt.
Good to see you, mate. All right. Nick.
What's going on, bro? Nothing to articulate. It's just not fun anymore, is it?
No, it's not.
I've left the game 3 times before finishing. One against Essendon, against Bolton.
Yeah.
They got sacked the next week. The Brisbane game the other week, and then today. And there's just so many questions, man. No answers, just questions. Don't know. Have we cooked it? Is boss it? Just what everyone else said. Don't know really more what to say, man.
Love it.
What do you do? What do you say?
I don't know. I feel like the last 2 hours have been a bit of a blur, if I'm honest. I just blinked and there was, I've got to be mindful to finish up before 9. And I realized what's been happening for the last 45 minutes. It's all a blur.
It's just,
I don't know, man. I don't know.
But
I
like,
sit here
even
and-
with Boss's press conference, like, we're talking about effort again. We did that with Teague like 2 years ago, and we're back to honourable losses and effort. What the fuck?
Yeah. It's grim.
I don't know. I don't know if it's one or the other. It's either we think everyone's like we overrate our list, we think they're great and they're not, or we just got the wrong system. Every pack, like we'll kick along every pack. How does Collingwood get the ball and we're just nowhere near it? It's just you can like rewrite the same thing over and over. You know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But we can't make any changes.
Proper changes.
Anyways,
yeah,
you can't suck him now. I think he's got to let it out. But there's just too many questions, I think, and none of us have the answers. We're not there. We don't know anything. As much as we're all the experts sitting here, we don't know shit.
Yeah.
We don't. Like, we just come and all our emotions are vested to something we can't control.
Yeah. It's madness.
It's crazy.
Anyway,
we'll still rock
thanks,
hard,
brother.
See
Yeah,
you, bro.
absolutely. All right, ciao. All right, Max.
G'day, Terry. I just want to say, as disappointing as today was, and it was really disappointing, at the end of the day, the grass is always greener. Like the situation the club is in, we have to be all in on Voss and the coaching team to make the changes that obviously need to be made. A new head coach will only probably make things worse the way that we're going right now. So, like I said, I'll be quick. I'll let you go. I know we've got the almost Blue Brothers coming on. So, anyway, that's all I want to say. We've got to back them in because a new coach will make it 10 times as bad and we'll be having the same conversation in a couple of years.
Yeah. Thanks, mate. Yuval.
How you going? I'll keep it short and sweet. I think the problem at Carlton is one of optics, as they say now in the landscape. Sayers should be sacked because his optics are wrong. I think the reality is, and what it's shown us in the last month, is we are 5 goals worse than a top 8 side. So, what they should say at the beginning of the year is we have to find those extra 5 goals to be a top 8 side. We have lost consistently top 8 sides by 5 goals. That's all you need, those 5 goals. I don't know who's going to do it. There's players there that obviously can, but that's what they should be saying when they're coaching. They're going, all right, well, last year we missed out by a point. How are we going to improve from last year? Well, the reality is now we've gone 5 goals behind. But hopefully he rectifies that. We find those extra 5 goals when we play a top 8 team. And then we're back up there. But that's all there is. It's 5 goals. It's been 5 goals every week. We get blitzed by 4 goals in the first quarter and then come back a little bit and then get blown away by 5 goals. So we're not getting completely annihilated. I mean, all right, the Adelaide game they were on meth or something. But it's been a consistent 5 goals between us and the best.
What do you
That's
see
it.
when you see the poor execution? What do you see? What's the root cause for the poor execution?
Well, poor execution, what's that, a path to goal, that can be sort of fixed. That's a mental thing, Again, it's like they should be thinking not finals or bust. Like Sayers said, they should be saying, we need an extra 5 goals. I'll kick it to someone who's free in the forward pocket, rather than just rote kick it in, let it rebound, rote kick it in. Guys like, our forwards should be aiming to kick a goal or 2 each game, and then we've got 5 extra goals. It's not all Harry and Charlie.
Where is your hope levels for the rest of this season?
Well, we're 5 goals out from the top 8. I don't think we're bottom 4, so it's 10th to 14th at best. It's the 5 goals. It's because the competition's a lot more even if you're not bottom 4. So you see Geelong and Footscray, they were written off a month ago, and now they're Geelong have gone shit again, but Footscray are 5 goals. Their coach, they got a great coach, and he said, well, last year we were 3 goals out of a top 8 team, and they're 3 goals better, and then now they're in the top 4. So we're not going to go out and sack the coach. We're going to have to live with what we've got. I mean, we've signed Harry for 8 years or whatever, so it's we just got to stay put. I mean, we probably have to sack a few of the the big wigs because they're idiots. I think we should keep Cook and just get just leave the football people to do football stuff, not get finals or bust or Matheson or John Elliott, Tom Elliott talking, throwing hand grenades and wrecking everything. There's just little measures. The scoreboard doesn't lie. We're 5 goals worse than top 8 team.
Like it.
There's players there that can execute it. We've got to get those 5 goals, or we get someone who can kick 5 goals a game. I don't know, like Judd or a midfielder that can play. I don't know, but it's those adjustments.
Yeah. Fair. Well, mate, appreciate you tuning in.
Yeah. Thanks.
No worries. See ya. And that'll do it. It's exhausting, man. It's exhausting. That is the end of the fan cams for round 10. While you're here, hit the subscribe button if you're on YouTube and you're not subscribed. I know that 35% of you that watch this are not subscribed. I'm on to you. Hit the subscribe button. Thank you for being here as always. I don't know. I don't know what to latch onto with the team. The word disconnect came up a lot today. It's come up a lot all season. We're still asking the same questions. We add another one every week. We're shit. We're just not good enough. We're just not good enough right now. We haven't been good enough for a while. And it's going to come to a boil as it always does. And I don't know which direction that is going to go in, and I don't know what that actually means. But yeah, we're in a perpetual cycle of poor execution and a perpetual cycle of disappointment. And then we have to kind of regroup and not bring that energy into Friday because it will hinder them. And it almost consistently, little bit by little bit, just weighs everyone down every week, 1% every week. And then it's just the jungle drums beat louder every week. So I don't know. I'm going to come on this channel and continue to tell you all and explain to you all how lost we all are But thanks for being here. For the Collingwood supporters that tuned in, you would have loved it. And fair play, you're awesome. The Pies are great. They're a good team, disciplined, together, connected. Everything my team isn't, the Collingwood Magpies are. And that's what it is. Now, in 5 minutes, the Almost Blues Brothers will start. So sit tight. I'm going to tune out for the night and go straight to sleep. I'm exhausted. And the boys will be on shortly. So give them some love. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. If you've ever been entertained from this channel, please. That's the only thing I ask of you. Just want to see 10K tick over. Not that it means anything, but yeah. Have a good one, guys. See you tomorrow morning for the review. Go Blues.